morning. This is on State of Florida versus Jamel Demons. Present is Mr. Demons. Mr. Demons, can you hear us?
Yes, sir.
YNW Melly has dropped a message to his family during his court hearing today, as during Melly's court hearing it would also be revealed his new trial date being set for October 9th. Allowing YNW Bortland's trial on October 2nd to begin for a week before Melly's. However, it would also be announced YNW Melly hires new lead attorney Jamie to replace former lead David A. Howard in the upcoming retrial. Benjamin joins the returning YNW Melly team of Stewart and Raven Liberty, as Benjamin, a legacy criminal defense attorney with a lengthy state and federal court experience in various cases. He has won several penalty cases, which is what YNW Melly is facing. Benjamin is also a former president of the Florida Association of Criminal Defense Lawyers, as YNW Melly fired his old attorney David A. Howard. However, the interesting part of the court hearing was this exact moment where it was announced YNW Melly smiled and said, "I'm coming home," to family members in the gallery as he was leaving the courtroom.
It'd be a defense continuous then on everybody's part. And then we set it for a status in November. If something comes up, just contact my JA. We can put it on the docket anytime. All right?
Very good.
All right, guys. Thank you. No, I gave him that. They give us that
Movement.
first part of November. Friday. Good for you guys. Number 10.
Very good.
State 10. 10. November 10.
As YNW Melly seems very confident with his new lead lawyer. It was even noted that YNW Melly allegedly was overheard saying he's going to be released on house arrest sometime within the coming weeks. However, many believe that he shouldn't. This is due to a report this week that stated, according to a juror who served in the YNW Melly trial, claims a majority of the jurors wanted to convict him, but one woman was on the jury was determined to find YNW Melly not guilty, and she convinced two other people to say he wasn't guilty too, where, quote, his mom is lying, it was 9-3 guilty, not the other way around. As this is in response to YNW Melly's mother, Jamie King, as she went viral on social media, posting to her Snapchat story saying, 9 not guilty, 3 guilty. It was a mistrial, my son will be home. God is still working. As the juror that did the interview wanted to make things straight, YNW Melly was almost convicted of this crime. However, there was one juror in the mix that wanted to be a hero, whether it was for financial gain, publicity, or maybe she truly believed YNW Melly was not guilty ever since the beginning of the trial. However, it gets much deeper than this.
Now, this is from Local 10 News right out of Fort Lauderdale, and they said most jurors wanted to convict Melly of 2 counts of the Broward County, the former juror has said. Now, this juror is speaking on the condition of anonymity, which means that they're not going to disclose their identity. The juror blamed the mistrial on one woman who served on the jury who appeared to be determined to acquit Jamel Demons. The juror goes on to say that from day one, she had issues with the 4-person selected, at one point crossing her arms and saying that she was done. When another juror asked to not shut down and she set her feelings aside, she was manipulative, she was rude, she yelled insults at everyone, and she was just had a different opinion. The juror stated that she was there just to cause chaos.
This one juror knew from the beginning that she was not going to change her mind at all. Sources claim she wanted to be, quote, a hero, possibly wanting the fame as mentioned earlier. The original votes for YNW Melly was 11-1 for being guilty. However, this juror didn't want to be a hero, voting not guilty alone. This is when she would do something very unexpected while they were deliberating in the jury room.
The last day of deliberation, the former juror said that while it appeared that there was 11-1 to convict Demons, with the woman pulled 2 jurors aside and spoke to them for a few minutes and convinced them to come to her side. They stated, and I quote, "Then she came over and announced to the group that they had changed their minds, but when another juror asked why she was speaking for them, the former juror said, adding that the woman then hurled insults, including at the man who was questioning her. And without an agreement, Broward County Circuit Judge John J. Murphy declared the mistrial, and you guys remember that.
As whether it is allowed or not, allegedly the juror that wanted to be a hero pulled two people aside and was able to convince them to vote not guilty against YNW Melly. Whether she promised that they would get money out of it, or maybe even just some publicity for when the trial was done for saving a famous rapper, none of us truly know. However, the juror that did the interview mentioned why she even spoke about the trial in the first place, which ends up making YNW Melly's mother look extremely unprofessional.
The former juror said that the decision to speak up about what happened behind the scenes resulted from reports from Demon's mother, Jamie King, who said that they were deadlocked at 9-3 in favor of an acquittal, which again, we find out from this juror, is incorrect. The former juror said it was actually the opposite. She said that she had came out because she said, I don't want someone out there changing my vote. And she then goes on to say that you tell a lie enough, it becomes the truth. Now here's the best snippet. It says the next hearing for the case is on August 4th, and Demon's team, as well as the prosecutors, agreed to start jury selection for the next trial on October 2nd. But again, we don't know if the judge is going to agree to a dual trial.
However, the serious new evidence against YNW Melly released this week all starts with YNW Bortland. Rumors have began circulating believing that YNW Bortland will be snitching on YNW Melly in the end to save himself. His interrogation interview from 2018 would also be leaked this week, as YNW Bortland can be heard stating this crime happened out of jealousy.
Let's talk about why. Are you having issues with anyone?
I mean, we are upcoming artists and stuff, so people like, you know, when you like start doing better than people, they start hating and stuff, you know what I'm saying?
So you had some jealousy issues?
Yeah, it's like jealousy issues, but gotten it. I haven't really been on there, but like he like my friend that's when I got blessed, he was telling me like, right, he always was telling me about how people, just like today, he was telling me some folks from up our way.
What's up your way?
Like Vero
Beach?
Beach, like that's where I used to stay, you know what I'm saying? So I grew up there, so that's our hometown, you know what I'm
So
saying?
what did your friend say about from Vero Beach? What was he saying to you?
He was saying basically just like, they were on like Instagram, Facebook, like.
The officer doing the interrogation would want to know more about the in-the-moment actions that were made by YNW Bortland, as he was the one driving the car. Did he crash into anything? Did he see any faces? Did he see any license plates, etc.?
And I'm driving, ducking for my life, trying to make sure I don't get hit. And you telling me, you telling me about some shit. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to make sure I don't get hit. I'm driving. I'm trying to make sure I don't get hit. You know what I'm saying? What I'm gonna be worried about? You know what I'm saying?
I know it's not for you to worry about.
Shit crazy, bro.
But if you tell me it happened there's got to be some evidence there. There's going to be broken glass, just like there's broken glass over here from when you guys opened the doors and stuff like that. Okay, there's going to be broken glass over there when the windows got out. There's going to be casings from the people at your car. Okay, there's going to be evidence over there. Okay, right now there's nothing. I kind of think I know what happened because I got information.
As within 30 minutes of the interrogation, the officer already knew that YNW Bortland was lying. So he would just straight up ask Bortland, if you know who did this crime, would you tell me?
By just telling me the truth, even if it's something that I don't want to hear, but I respect the truth rather than BS, okay? And it's a simple question. If you knew who did this, okay? You may or may not know. If you knew who did this, would you tell me? It's either a yes or no question. Answer.
Honestly.
Yeah, honestly. The truth. You wouldn't?
Because I wouldn't want to be a part of that. I wouldn't want to be.
as YNW Bortland does not give a firm yes or no answer while using his voice. Instead, he is seen shaking his head side to side, referencing no. This is because if it was YNW Melly who did the crime, Bortland would obviously know that, so him saying no using his voice could have caused his voice to come out at a different level than what he's been using. This is due to him lying. This would then be a clear indicator to the police that Bortland knows a lot more than what he's sharing. However, the officers already knew Bortland was lying since the beginning. This is due to the Jeep that they were driving in as they investigated it at the scene. It didn't look like a regular vehicle that has gone through a drive-by. It looked clearly staged, as even Sergeant Williams during the Melly trial would investigate the vehicle himself, then claim this could not have been a drive-by.
Assignment, which is to determine if this is a drive. And my determination was that this is not a drive-by, and it's based upon this picture here, which is a very good picture to describe it. All of these rounds are done. One is done at a stationary position. The at a stationary position when all but one of these rounds are going in. The one round that has some movement in it, which is round site L here, the actually moving in that to create the little bit of a that you see there.
Okay, a lot of information in that answer, so let's break it down a little bit. You mentioned so I'm gonna zoom in on site F.
As he investigated every single hole that was inside of the car, and then he used what is known as the stick method to find out how the holes were created, including the direction of where it could have came from.
Number, you said 17 outside the car. How many rounds were inside of the car?
3.
And can you exclude the for Mr. Williams and Mr. Thomas as coming from outside of the car?
Yes. From the driver's side back seat.
As to the shot that was Christopher Thomas, where did that come from?
Driver's side back seat.
No. Is it possible for there to have been 2 inside that car?
No.
Why not?
There is no time.
So with the jury hearing Sergeant Williams state the crime must have happened from the person in the back left seat of the vehicle, the state would then call YNW Juvie's mother up to the stand, as she would confirm where everyone was sitting when the crime occurred.
Are you related to one of the victims in this case?
Yes, I am.
How so?
I'm his mother.
And who is that?
Christopher Thomas.
Positive 21915. Ms. Phillips, did you see who entered into the occupants who entered into that gray Jeep?
Mm-hmm.
And is that a yes?
Yes.
Do you recognize where your son entered that gray Jeep?
Yes.
Which seat, if you can identify for the jury?
He got in the back seat on the right hand side.
Did you recognize the individual that got into the back seat on the left side, the rear driver's side?
Yes.
And who was that individual?
Jamel.
And Jamel, is that the defendant, Jamel Demons?
Yes, ma'am.
With the jury hearing the crime must have happened from the person inside of the vehicle, with YNW Juvie's mother revealing where everyone was seated, YNW Juvie's father would then do an interview after that trial day, revealing that he believed YNW Melly was guilty ever since the beginning.
From the day one, I believe that Melly was responsible for my son on October 26th when I first heard the story, because his explanation when I finally talked to him in Cortland on a FaceTime, their response and how they was reacting, they showed no remorse. They didn't act like they was grieving, like they lost a best friend or nothing. They was, in my opinion, they was in the best spirits. They wasn't reacting to, they act like they didn't have to take a loss at all. That's how I took it. And then when I was talking to them, I still had in the back of my mind something's not right.
As if things couldn't get worse for YNW Melly, 1 week after the mistrial was granted, we would then hear from O-Block resident Jay Hood, a best friend of King Von, as he would reveal something unexpected during an interview, as Von may have mentioned a little too much to a group of people that are living in O-Block. As Jay Hood, he would just reveal everything.
Did Von really tell you that Melly told him that he was two friends?
He ain't come out and say, like, we got into an argument. And so, you know, if you know, when people could say something without saying it. And so he told me, like, once I posted what I posted, Von was mad at me. Bro, why you put up there, bro? Walk the bam. I'm like, you sitting up here, like, you know the love we got. You do this for us, but you gonna trust that his two friends? And he said, them was trying to extort him. And so I'm like, if they was trying to extort him, then why are you still around them?
As he revealed information that we never even knew, involving Sack Chaser and Juvie going after Melly for financial gain, as King Von and YNW Melly were really good friends a few years ago. They even released a song titled Rolling Together, as they were really good friends. There's even the Dirk and Von phone call with YNW Melly while he was sitting in jail and had nothing to do.
Boss, you got tippy. Boss harder than mine. It's me. It's y'all. I say, tippy.
When you add this into the existing evidence that's already going to be used against YNW Melly in the second trial, things get very concerning, as with the lead detective revealing a text message of YNW Melly admitting to doing the crime.
The PC Gambino account asked him if he was okay, and his response was, I did that, and placed a smiley face emoji.
And the next message from 10/26/2018 at 16:02 from Eastern Standard Time. The YNW Melly account says what?
After that, SHHHH.
And could you please stand and point on the right side of the screen exactly which part you're saying where the YNW Melly account says, I did that?
I did that. This is the thread ID. This is the text. This is the author. And this is the recipient. Then you come down here, same thing. The ID is for the actual message, which is just specific that one message. Then the thread ID is the actual continuation of continuing message.
Thankfully for YNW Melly, his next trial though won't be with YNW Bortland, as a lawyer would go on to explain why trying them together would have been a slam dunk for the prosecution.
Issue here, and you can try them together. It is to the benefit of the state to try them together. It just more efficient. You don't have to do things again and again. Do it all at once, and also you get a better chance of having them incriminate each other during the trial. It benefits the defense to sever it. That way they can point the finger at each other and get away with it. So this is what's going on. But I don't think it should be automatically severed because the state is seeking a penalty for Melly, because it's only the penalty phase of the trial that would be different, not the guilt phase. The guilt phase is the same. They're both capital crimes. You're seeking the penalty on one, not the other, but that goes into the second part of the trial, the penalty phase, only if Melly is found guilty.